welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. It is lovely to have you here. In today's video, I just wanted to go through some of, or pretty much all of my makeup palette collection. I don't use them very often, to be honest. I have a lot for somebody who kind of just doesn't do makeup very often. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Conspiracy palette. And of course this one was quite controversial, but I don't use it very often at all, nor do I support the people behind this product anymore. But I'm not just going to throw it away, so that is why I still have it. This one is probably the bulkiest that I have. Like, it's pretty chongus compared to most traditional sized palettes. And you can probably see a bit of a different background than usual, and I've now moved over to using my iPhone as a camera instead of my big DSLR, because I think my iPhone just does a better job at it, better quality. Like, my phone can do 4K and my camera can't, so and I don't have long nails on today. I've been growing out my natural nails for a couple of weeks now. Well, trying to anyway. I did have nails on in my last video, but I took them straight off and none of my nails were damaged, so I consider that a win. I will show you the inside very briefly. Ooh, try not to blind you. So, as you can probably see, I don't use this very often, so I haven't even gotten close to hitting pan on any of them, and most of them you can still, actually all of them, you can still see the pressed logo or icon, whatever you want, the stamp in them. So that is the Conspiracy palette. We'll get the controversial ones out of the way first. Next I have the Jawbreaker palette. Again, bought this back when I used to watch a lot of makeup videos and I didn't know a lot about people behind some of these products, so I have not really used this much either, although this one I do, I think, reach for more often than the Conspiracy palette. There's a bit of bubbling in the packaging, which is weird. I don't know if you can really see that. Very weird. Guess I didn't really explain, I'm just realising now I didn't really finish explaining why the background is different. Kind of just said it's because I'm filming on my iPhone, but that doesn't really explain a lot. This is just an easy spot for my iPhone to be in, and I've got a lot of stuff over that side of my room in here at the moment, so it's quite messy in here, and I kind of just wanted to have something nice in the background rather than just blank space like I do over there. I'll show you the inside of this one as well, without blinding you. Since this one you can fold all the way back, please, anyone who manufactures a palette, please make it possible so that you can fold the mirror back. It's like one of the best things about this palette, honestly. So here's what you get in it. This one I think I use, yeah, I did say that already. It is a bit more used than the other one. And that is our lovely Jawbreaker palette. I do like the overall colours in this one a lot. But yeah, it's just kind of sad because of who it's made by. And again, same thing with this one. I haven't purchased any of these recently, at least not in the last several years, because, well, they're all like I don't want to throw them away, because that would be really wasteful. But I will not be purchasing any of these again. And yes, I keep my palettes for multiple years, even though on the back it has, wow, it's really hard for you to see, 12 months symbol on it, so you're not supposed to use it. Well, you're supposed to use it all in 12 months, which, like, let's be honest, who the hell does that? Except makeup artists. Certainly not the average consumer. Okay, the next controversial palette I have, which is almost the last one, is the James Charles and Morphe palette, Artistry palette. This is the mini version. This one, again, same shit as the other ones. Not purchased, I was gifted this several years ago. And would not buy again. Probably not going to be able to buy it again because they got rid of it. And Morphe is basically going bankrupt at the moment, allegedly. Let's be honest, the packaging is incredibly boring. It's just straight up black and shiny text, which is like, whatever. This one is one of the annoying ones where you can't really bend it all the way backwards or you will break the palette. But these other colours inside, it's almost basically full rainbow. So I think that's why I like the colour story so much. Because I can basically just take this palette wherever and I have everything with me. All the colours that I might need I have on the go. Alright, that one's not much fun, so we will move on to another one. I'll say the last controversial palette is another Morphe one. This is the first Morphe palette that I ever purchased. It's the 35O. Remember when this was the shit? Remember when Morphe palettes looked like this? I brought this. Whew, let's think. Probably close to like 8 years ago. It's very old, which come at me and say that's gross, but I'm not just going to throw away a palette that is perfectly fine. It's in great condition, does not have any signs of bacteria or mold or anything, so why throw it out? Hasn't caused my eyes any problems, so I'm fine to use it for this long. Especially when you pay so much for all this makeup, it's like, seriously, I'm not going to throw it away after 12 months. I'm going to use the whole thing. I'm not going to throw it away unless it's like disgusting. This one, because it was one of my like first not extreme drugstore makeup palettes, it got a fair bit of use. These are the colours inside. It's extremely cheaply made. I'm not even sure if at the time that I purchased this whether it was like legit Morphe or not, because I believe I bought it from a reseller, because this was back when Morphe didn't have an Australian retailer. Like, you couldn't, like, it was ridiculously expensive to just do it that way, so I'm pretty sure I just bought it off someone on some website. I can't even remember. Probably bought it from eBay, to be honest. Which is like the world's biggest red flag. Don't buy makeup from eBay, because you really don't know if it's real or not. You can see 35O in the corner there. This was one of my most used palettes back when it was like the only palette I had for eyeshadow. But yeah, that's the Morphe 35O. It used to be absolutely crazily raved about back several years ago, when Morphe was like just getting discovered as an amazing brand, so cheap, whatever. Okay, the next one, which I actually forgot I had, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. It is very dirty, which is seriously like, why would you choose velvet as, it's just silly. So this one will make quite different sounds to what you've been hearing so far, and I know it's probably really annoying to see me look like over here. But that is where my viewfinder is. And that's where the screen is. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm not like putting it out of frame. Oh, that sounds interesting. I really, really love this palette, and I'm a bit sad that I forgot that it existed in my collection. So here's what it has inside. As you can see, I've hit pan on some, they're quite deep shadows, honestly, which is nice because the pans are a little bit smaller, or they're closer to like what you would typically expect in palettes, I suppose. But some of them can be deceiving. You know how you buy a palette and you expect, you know, the pans to be somewhat deep to give you enough product for what you paid for, and then they surprise you by either being extremely shallow or a lot deeper than what you thought. This is one of the ones where it's actually quite deep to what I expected. As you can tell, these ones here were like my two favourite shades, but I did use this a lot. I bought this after the Morphe 35O palette, and I just almost completely switched to this. This is a great travel palette if you like warm and pinky tones. This is a really good palette to take with you on like trips and stuff like that. It just gets dirty so easy. Like, look at that. I somehow got that on my finger and I've now dirtied the whole palette. I don't really care how dirty it gets though, to be honest. Alright, what else do we have here? We've got a really old BYS. Do you remember when they were around? You probably only know this if you're Australian, because I believe they were an Australian brand. Maybe, just not, definitely not US. Maybe they were like British, UK and Australia, whatever. This was one of my first ever like contour palettes, and you'll see when I open it that I really did like it. This one's made of metal, so it does have a different sound again, and the words are raised. So it's quite nice to scratch on. That's the back. I like that they kind of give you some pictures on where to place the colours. Sorry, it's fucking hard to see where to put your contour and your highlight, which is kind of nice, I guess. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's safe to say that I really enjoyed this palette, except for this shade. Oh, sorry, this shade, because, well, it's just too dark for my skin tone, so yeah, absolutely loved this palette a lot. And I have another one that looks very similar, which BYS is funny for trying to make their palettes look like Urban Decay, which is the next one that I have. This is the Naked 2 palette, and this was actually given to me because someone was getting rid of some makeup and believe it was given to my sister, and then my sister was like, I'm not going to use this, and gave it to me. I didn't really use this very much, honestly, after I was given it. There was only like a couple of shades that I used. I'll try and get the mirror out of the way. But not really used by me very much. I used the black a little bit and like the highlight. This is a highlight shade, but that was honestly basically it, because this palette has a lot of metallics and I don't commonly use metallics. I love my matte shades. I'm not a very shiny metallic eyeshadow kind of bitch. I've been recording for nearly half an hour now, so I'm just trying to speed the process of each palette up a little bit. Make sure that if you have a favourite so far, that you keep it in mind and you comment down below which one at the end is your favourite in terms of sound or colours, or if you have one of them. This palette was given to me as a gift from my grandmother and served as my entryway into a lot of these other palettes. It was the only palette that I had for a while. And I love how it like folds out all the way. Look at all of that. So crazy. I used a lot of these shades. I don't think I can get the plastic off, but you can definitely see that I used a lot of these shades at the bottom. I went through, and the stuff on the side here is like lipstick, and these are like gel or cream eyeliner, some blushes, and there was a mirror in here, but I don't know what happened, it kind of fell out. And there's even face charts to help you with your makeup application. So I used this palette a lot as my gateway to doing a lot more elaborate eyeshadow looks. There was a time where I was doing some pretty creative eye looks, but I don't really do that anymore. Mostly because I'm not like going out anywhere fancy, so I don't like try and match my outfits or anything. Alright. Next we have this random palette that was gifted to me from one of my friends who basically used only this shade, and so they kind of just ripped out the pan and was like, here, do you want this? So I was like, hell yeah. I went through the bronzer and the contour shades, and now I'm just left with a bit of blush, which the blush is what I have on today, which I know the lighting's a bit funky, I don't even know who this is by. Apparently the brand's called Sunkissed, but I have no idea where it actually came from. Next up I have the two glow kits. Sun Dipped and Sugar. They honestly have like the best highlighter formula to ever exist in my opinion. But I like crazy highlighter sometimes. They have the shades and the shade names on the back. In the Sugar one, I have used quite a bit, especially of the pink shade. But in the Sun Dipped one, which is the one that I got first, I've kind of used a lot of these two shades, and these two, especially the bronzed, seems to be quite dark for me, so I can only really use this as eyeshadow. So that's my two glow kits. And the last palette that I have, which is the most recent palette that I got given, is this Ellen Tracy. I don't know who this is, to be honest. But it is vegan and cruelty free. Kind of already see the shades. They are quite nice, to be honest. I haven't used this one very much because I've kind of just stopped putting on makeup a lot. I used to wear makeup basically every day, but nowadays I kind of only do it like once a week, if that. Kind of really only put it on when I film. And that is the last palette that I have. So, thank you so much for watching. Let me know which palette was your favourite down in the comments. And don't forget to like the video if you've made it this far. It helps my channel reach other people who also need a bit of help relaxing or falling asleep. And I will see you in my next